To meet Gaddafi, we had to drive 50 miles across the desert to catch him on one of his periodic journeys. As a Bedouin, he feels the desert is his natural home, and this part of it is where he was brought up. He comes here to stay for a few days and meditate on his political ideas. Colonel Gaddafi is a strange mixture of ideological otherworldliness and toughness. 2 years ago there were 36 executions after one of several coup attempts against him. Many would say there was other blood on his hands. He's been paymaster to the IRA and to the most extreme Palestinian groups. But Western diplomats concede that he's mellowing, and now his attention is on consolidating his plans for the Jamahiriya.
I believe all the world will be changed into this kind of political regime, which is Jamahiriya, and the future will be the future of Jamahiriyas in the world. And we only open the era of masses, the era of Jamahiriyas. As the French Revolution established the era of republicans, and we here, we can say Libya now is establishing the era of Jamahiris.
Now, at the end of next month, there are going to be large changes, aren't there, as you move really to the next phase of the plan that you outlined in the Green Book. Can you tell me a little bit about the kind of changes that will take place then?
We will establish finally the authority of the people in this following months, and the leaders of the revolution will lift the authority finally to the people, and the people through the people's congresses and people's committees will form this new state without any representation and without any president, without any leader.
But what about Islam in its social role? Will Islam as a religion, as a structure, play the kind of part that it has perhaps played in other Islamic countries?
I believe as it is written in Quran and in the Bible also. The social justice is one of the main goals of these religions. As Jesus calls for or called for social justice and equality between all human beings, also Quran calls for this. And as I said, there is no contradiction between political regime Jamahiri also and the Islam. Also, there is no contradiction between socialism and Islam, and there is no contradiction between socialism and Christianity and Jews and so on.
Out in the country, where the revolution wants to get more people back to the land, the benefits of the oil money are more evident. The lives of many simple Libyans have been transformed by it. Saeed El Viaturi, for instance, has a small farm of 60 acres where 10 years ago he grazed his sheep on desert scrub. There are 400 farmers like Saeed on this cooperative. Half of them had first to be taught to read and write. Saeed was given his farmhouse with livestock and fruit trees plus a tractor free by the government. In fact, the revolution has invested £45,000 in each farmer to get him started. The farmhouses are standard. Farmer Saeed didn't want us to look inside, but we were assured that each house had a sitting room with a visitor's lavatory, 3 other rooms with kitchen and bathroom, and a barn and outhouses for the stock and storage. With the tractor went 25 sheep, 25 laying hens, grapevines and trees, olive, fig, peach and plum. Saeed no doubt was something of a model farmer, but we went there unescorted and were able to see and ask for ourselves. As a desert, the place was known as Death Valley, then changed after reclamation to Valley of the Living, apparently at Colonel Gaddafi's suggestion. It's a project that's very much the apple of his eye, and we heard that he drops in from time to time, alone and incognito, to have tea and a chat with farmers like Saeed. But we also heard of cases where the pioneer farming hadn't been quite so cosy. The joke in Libya is that when they bore for water in such ground, they're afraid of striking oil. The revolution insists that Libya must be self-sufficient in food. Like other OPEC countries, it's changed from a net exporter of food to having to buy it in from abroad. The hope is finally to reclaim 1.5 million acres of desert. But the revolution's not gone all Colonel Gaddafi's way, and letting the people decide has sometimes meant that the peasants have told him that they preferred things the way they were. Reclamation and irrigation, they both owe something to the ideas developed on the kibbutzim in Israel. This cooperative also had a village centre with a school, a fire station and an ambulance with a small hospital and a resident doctor. It's perhaps the final irony that kibbutz farming methods should be changing a country so implacably opposed to the State of Israel. What will be your immediate reaction when Egypt and Israel do presumably sign an agreement of some sort?
We already put this regime in Egypt in the blacklist, and if it happens in future, the other Arab countries, according to the Summit Conference of Baghdad, they will put Egypt in blacklist, all these countries.
What would be the result of that?
The result of that, to show to all the world and to the Egyptians themselves, this way is only the way of Sadat, and it is the way of khiyana.
Treason, the way of treason.
What are your views on what's happening in Iran at the moment?
It is the people's revolution, and it is right thing is being done in Iran against this dictatorial regime of Shah and this influence of USA and this backwardness in this country and this decay in the social life of this society, and the people's revolution is the medicine for this illness of this country.
Can we now move on to Saudi Arabia? Will that country experience the same kind of upheavals that Iran has?
Of course. The time will come to bring these events into Saudi Arabia and into Egypt and other countries similar to this, to Iran.
When you say the time will come to bring it, does that mean that it should be done from outside, or it will be done from within the country?
It will be done from the people itself, from inside Saudi Arabia, inside Egypt, as it now being done from inside the Iran, from the people itself, by the people itself, by the masses. I think Egypt is the first country will witness people's revolution by workers and students and farmers sooner than Saudi Arabia.
Do you see the influence of the West, of the United States in particular, gradually disappearing in this part of the world, in the Arab world?
When?
Now.
You mean the influence of America?
Yes.
Disappears now.
Yes.
ترون أنها
Is it
تنقص.
beginning to disappear now?
No, the influence of America is very strong now in this area.
And the influence of the Soviet Union?
I don't see any influence of the Soviet Union, but I see cooperation between Soviet Union and these countries.
As Libya moves into 1979, what changes do you expect to see in the program that you've been outlining?
Not only Libya is being changed into 79, all the world is being changed now into this new year. And what I can say not about Libya but all the world, I wish for all the world, especially the Catholic world, must go back to the words of Jesus and the words of God and read the Bible again and again, because now they are acting against the Bible, against the words of Jesus, against the words of God. That I want, and that my wish for all the Catholic world and all the world peoples in the world in this new year.
Gaddafi is a visionary, a prophet with honour really only in his own country. There, Libya's huge oil exports have made it possible to put the vision into practice. But the vision itself, the Jamahiriya, is unlikely to prove exportable.